It's just not sinking in for Trump.
It's the stuff of a bad breakup. The ex who just won't accept that it's over.
The president's firing off tweets alleging voter fraud, obstruction, and even claiming victories in states that he simply did not win, channeling the Costanza theorem.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Team Trump fronted the cameras this morning to scream bloody murder.
We want an honest, accurate, lawful count.
The election is not over.
We should all be alarmed by this.
Democrat officials trying to tip the scales of the election in their favor.
They voiced anguish over the count.
Republican poll watchers were denied their legal right to monitor the election and purposely kept in the dark.
What are Pennsylvania Democrats hiding?
They bemoaned T-shirt-centric intimidation.
Election workers were wearing Biden T-shirts.
And claimed they had a whistleblower who could point to vote tampering.
Somebody was told, you need to backdate ballots to make them legal. If you have an election worker being told to backdate ballots, that's a problem.
But what they didn't have was evidence.
Do you know that fraudulent votes were actually cast?
Look, what we are asking for here is patience.
But patience is wearing mighty thin.
Well, I just think we have to be very clear. She's charging, the other side is welcoming fraud and welcoming illegal voting. Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this.
I'm sure they'll find, 10 votes here and there that shouldn't have been counted one way or another. But I think they're trying to taint a clear result. But it's definitely not ethical in my view, and it's certainly not consistent with the norms that have sustained American democracy for decades, even centuries.
It's a messaging blitz that could lead to campaign-style rallies to fire up guys like this.
The Biden crime family stealing this election! The media's covering it up!
And it's also a sputtering vehicle for collecting more donations. As Trump thrashes about, his usual political allies are circling wagons. The Attorney General, Bill Barr, has offered the assistance of the Department of Justice, and the NRA is grabbing its guns.
Stop the radical left. Defeat Biden-Harris.
People should be free to litigate. Bring it on. Let's prove it in court.
Sadly, we are asking the questions many of you should.
The results of the election.
Well, Donald Betts Jr. is a former Democratic senator who's now a lawyer in Australia, and he's just as bemused about Donald Trump's tactics as we all are. He joins us now. Donald, apparent whistleblowers in Pennsylvania alleging they were made to backdate ballots, rendering them illegal. Is this cause for genuine concern?
I don't believe so. I believe that lawsuits are devoid of any evidence of widespread fraud, and I don't believe that we see any widespread fraud. And these allegations are just extreme and just, I would call it an abuse of power.
Well, we totally agree with you, Donald. But what if he refuses to go? What's going to happen?
Well, as President-elect Joe Biden said that the United States government is perfectly capable of escorting trespassers out of the White House. And before that happens, I believe that there will be a leadership team of Republicans to go over to the president and say, Mr. President, it is over, Mr. President. Please pack your bags, and you have to leave the White House. He has to leave the office. There's no changing that.
I should point out that already you're my favourite American Donald. Donald, if winning is such a long shot and all this is a tactic to stir up Donald Trump's base, what's the strategy behind that?
Oh, just think about it. Before Donald Trump came into office as president, he was a businessman. He sees numbers. He sees ratings, 70 million of them. I mean, how can I capitalize off of 70 million folks? So whether it be a radio program or a television program, the president, he thinks ahead. And it looks like he's going to make sure that at the end of the day, he's going to win. He does not like to lose.
So I've come across one other theory, which I'm not endorsing, but I'm interested in getting your thoughts on, which is that he's basically whipping up the base to such an extent that it's going to put pressure on Republicans at the state level, who then might put pressure on the electors in the Electoral College to flip their votes. So instead of going with what the people voted for, go for Donald Trump, because there's just this frenzy over fraud, and then maybe win the election that way rather than winning it by the popular vote. Do you think there's anything to that theory?
But most legislative sessions don't come back in until after January. So by that time, it'll be too late. They can't apply the pressure. It's too late. It's just too late. I can imagine I can imagine the state of Kansas when I served as a senator calling me back on a special vote just to come in and vote whether we should have new electors overturning the will of the people. The will of the people have spoken.
Yeah, well said. Just quickly before you go, Donald, I found something today. Someone sent me this. If you go to loser.com, if you Google loser.com, it actually goes straight to Donald Trump's Wikipedia account today. That has been changed. Try it at home.
Wow. I mean, look, I wish the president the best. I know he had every intent. He loves America. I know he loves America, but maybe just one part of America. We have a president-elect that I believe loves all of America and what's going to do in the best interests of America and the world. I'm elated. I'm so excited. I'm excited for Australia. I'm excited for the United States. I'm excited for the world. So congratulations, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
Great to chat tonight, Donald. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Right, heaps more of the project still to come. Don't go anywhere.